Okay, in this section we're looking at scale factor and ratios part 2. Again, let me remind you of what we had learned from last time. If the scale factor is a to b, the ratio of the perimeters is a to the first power, b to the first power, area, a squared to b squared, and volume a to the third, b to the third. So here's the type of problems that we're going to have in this particular section. It's going to say the area of a triangle is 48. The dimensions are doubled. All right, what is the new area? Okay, so if the dimensions are doubled, then that means the scale factor is 2. All right, so the dimensions got twice as big, 2 times as big. Well, they're asking for the new area, right? The new area. Well, what's going to happen to the area? Well, if the scale factor is 2, then the area is going to get bigger by a factor of 2 squared, which is 4. Okay? So if the scale factor is 2, like I said, the area is going to get bigger by a factor of 4. Well, if the original area was 48, then the new area is going to be 48 times 4, which is 192. All right? So again, we'll take the scale factor, raise it to the appropriate power, multiply that by the original, and then that'll give you the new number. So we'll do a couple more of these. So the volume of a prism is 128. The dimensions are quadrupled. Well, what does quadrupled mean? That means the scale factor is 4. We're dealing with volume, so I need to raise that to the third power. 4 to the third power is 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. So if the scale factor is 4, in other words, the figure got 4 times as big, the volume gets 64 times as big as what it was before. What was it before? 128, and we'll go 128 times 64. And then, so that gives me 8192. So again, if the figure gets 4 times as big, the new volume, it jumps from 128 to over 8,000. So again, you can see how a relatively small increase in scale factor yields a very big increase in the amount of volume. All right. What about this one? The volume of a prism is 405. The scale factor is 2/3. So find the new prism. All right. So the scale factor is 2/3. So we'll start by looking at 2 to 3. There's my scale factor. What are we dealing with again? Volume. So I need to raise that up to the third power. So 3 here, 3 here. So that's going to make my scale or my ratio of my volumes 8 to 27, right? So what I need to do is I need to take the original 405 and multiply it times the scale factor, which happens to be 8 over 27, and then you can put that right into your calculator to come up with the value, and it'll look like this. Got Desmos, so we'll go 405 times 8 over 27, and then that gives me 120. Okay, so the next one we're looking at says the volumes of 2 similar prisms are 96 and 1500. Find the ratio of the surface areas. Now this problem is a little different. Okay, so this time they're giving me the ratios of the volumes. They're giving me the ratios of the volumes. I'm actually looking at the wrong question. Let's look at this one. Okay, the surface areas of 2 similar prisms are 60 and 135. Find the ratio of the volumes. So here they've given me the surface areas, right? They've given me the surface areas. So the first thing I need to do is take these surface areas and write them as a ratio. So this would be 60 over 135. And the way we can do that is reduce the fraction down. Now if you have trouble reducing this fraction, all you got to do is Google fraction reducer and you'll find a bunch of them online. It turns out that both of these can be divided out by, let's see, 15, and then so that would be 4 over 9. So that reduces down to 4 over 9. And now I can write it as from a fraction as a ratio to a ratio. That'd be 4 to 9. Now, here's the deal. Okay, think about this for a minute. Okay, right now this is the ratio of the surface area. So I'm already squared. Okay, in order to take this to volume, I'm going to square root it down to scale factor and then cubic back up to volume. So right now I'm already squared. I need to square root it to get it back to 1, and then raise it to the third power to get it to volume. So I'm going to square root both of these first. That's my first step. Square root of 4 is 2, and square root of 9 is 3. Okay? So once again, since this is surface area, it's already second power. I've got to square it, root it down to 2 to 3. And then now to take it from first power to volume, I got to raise it up to the third power. And then so that makes my answer 8 to 27. Okay, so like I say, since we are at surface area, this is the ratio of the surface area, it's already squared. I got to square root it back down to first power and then cube it back up to third power to actually get the answer. Let's try another one. Let's say the volumes of two similar prisms are 96 and 1500. Find the ratio of the surface areas. So again, the first step is reduce the fraction, 96 over 1500, and that turns out to reduce to 8 over 125. Like I say, you can find a fraction reducer online, no problem. All right. So this would be 8 to 125. But remember, this is the ratio of the volumes. We're already to the third power. So to get it down to first power, I have to use what is known as the cube root. Right? The cube root. So it's not square root. How many times twice does it make that number, but how many times itself 3 times to make the number. Okay, it should be on your calculator. I know it's on Desmos. I don't know if it's on the calculator that just comes with the phone. But to do the cube root, then let's see, what we can do is we can go function, let's see. Alright, so here's my nth root key. So you got to press functions and go to miscellaneous to get the cube root, because the only thing over here is square root. Okay, so the first thing it's asking me for is what root do I want. It's the cube root this time, and the cube root of 8, which is 2. Right? So I can go back here now and make that a 2. And for 125, the cube root of 125 is 5. And so when we take it down to first power, the ratio is 2 to 5. But remember, I've taken it from third power to first power, but I'm looking for surface area, which means I need to square it back up, which would give me 4 to 25 as the answer. So whatever level you're at, you've got to root it down to 1. If it's volume, cube root, right? If it's surface area, square root. And then once you're down to first power, raise it up to the appropriate power to get to volume, third power, or surface area, second power, and then you'll have it. Okay? That's it.